Hey, what is going on, Road Troopers? Road Trip Nate here, once again. Welcome back to the channel. Tonight, as those all-important captions at the top stated, I'm doing my top 5 favorite vacations I have been on. Y'all know me, I've been on a lot of vacations. But these are the top 5 vacations I've been on. Starting off with one honorable mention. Currently rewatching. Going from my first video to now is what I'm doing. I had this thorn up my butt to just rewatch all 400 and some videos I've done and see how the times have changed. But the one honorable mention for my favorite travels I've been to, and these are not all going to be on YouTube. These are just my favorite travels I've been on. But the one honorable mention, going to San Francisco in 1999. Why? Oh wait, we have the list. The all-important list. But the trip to San Francisco in 1999, we went to my great uncle's house, flew out there to San Francisco over the week of Thanksgiving break. As I've said numerous times on this channel, that was fun. Going out to San Francisco to go see my uncle. And then, not too much longer after that, he moved to Northwest Arkansas. And he lived just a few miles from us. But going to San Francisco, and then we came back in a U-Haul with a bunch of my grandpa's mom's stuff. Spent the Thanksgiving holiday out in San Francisco that year. It was just fun. I finally got to get a plasma ball for Christmas, because that was the first time I'd ever seen a plasma ball. Was at my uncle's house in this little small little duplex in San Francisco with a yard that was not even bigger than my living room. And the first and only time I've ever flown on a plane. We got up at like 3 a.m. in the morning, had sausage biscuits on the home-cooked sausage biscuits on the way to Tulsa International. But San Francisco is an honorable mention because it was fun. I don't remember much of it, but coming on the way back, we stopped in Flagstaff for the night and then went to the Grand Canyon. The first time I got to see the Grand Canyon, there was snow on the ground, which is something you don't see from the Grand Canyon much. You don't see it at all, but seeing the Grand Canyon with snow on the ground, that was pretty cool. I liked it. But it's an honorable mention because I don't really remember much about the trip. Only what I've said. But number 5, my Louisiana trip I took back in 2019. One of my longest trips I've taken, but one of the best trips I've taken. One of the first trips I took that was one of the best that I've done on video and done on YouTube. My Louisiana trip, I left out at like 8 a.m. I tried to get Shreveport's downtown on video. After the last time that I got Shreveport's downtown upside down on video. Stopped at the McDonald's in Shreveport. And probably just outside of Shreveport. My GPS took me through Bossier City. And I didn't end up getting downtown. I did get Alexandria on video, and I got Lafayette, which was where I stayed the night, the first night. I was gonna go to New Orleans, but I was like, I only got 3 days. I don't want to go to New Orleans on my second day and then have to drive 12 hours back to the Casa. So I decided to skip New Orleans, and I ended up getting Baton Rouge and LSU, and stayed in Monroe, which is where Duck Dynasty is from. Took the tour of Duck Dynasty, and then the next day I was coming back home, and I'm like, I'm gonna get Fayetteville, Arkansas on video. The University of Arkansas, Dixon Street, because I got LSU Tiger Stadium on video. I'm gonna get the U of A on video because I'm a Razorback fan, so I had to get Arkansas on video, the University of Arkansas on video, just because I got LSU the day before. I couldn't resist. But it's number 5. Number 4, the Chicago trip I took with my buddy Tim Crawford, my co-host on a few of these, several of these videos that I've posted on my YouTube channel. Our trip to Chicago was fun. Even though we stayed in Chicago one night. But going up to Chicago, we had to deal with a lot of massive flooding in Missouri. We had to drive basically in like almost a block. We couldn't take the freaking interstate because it was flooded. So we stayed at the Starlight Inn or Stardust Inn or whatever it was in this little small town. place, but it seemed nice. It had like I've said in many of my other videos, Tim slept on the hide bed and I slept in the bedroom, because these places were like little condos, kind of. But it was a decent hotel. And then we got to Chicago, and we were not far from O'Hare, and I was filming the airplanes going into O'Hare, and I posted those videos on YouTube. But Chicago was great. We got to, at like 2 a.m. in the morning, we got to see this drunk lady getting arrested by the police. And while we were filming our videos, like I've said on many of my other videos I've done on this channel, we had a guy that supposedly worked for the hotel ask us what we were doing, and we were like, oh man. I say weird. Tim was like, oh, we're filming the airplanes. We ain't never seen anything like this before. And the guy was explaining to us that, oh, you can go a couple blocks up and go into that field and get better shots. And me and Tim are joking about it, and we're like, yeah, you can. That's where your buddies are waiting for us to hijack us. And then coming back, we tried to stay on Route 66, and we stopped at the launching pad, which I've shown the Gemini Giant at the launching pad. The launching pad was, and I've talked about it several times on my channel, the launching pad was great. I walked under the Gemini Giant. I did a better job than Adam the Woo did, in my own current opinion. But then I had my first Chicago dog and a strawberry shake with some fries, I think. The food there was great. But that is why it's number 4. Number 3, my Atlanta trip that I took with my buddy Kenny. We went to Atlanta to go see Kenny's son, which I've talked about on like all these other towns I've talked about in other videos. But Atlanta was fun. The Atlanta trip was fun. This was 2015. We took off. It was like almost later in the day, I think, because we got to Forest City, which is between Little Rock and Memphis, and we stayed at a hotel in Forest City. Just a small, cheap hotel. And then we we drove all day and went to Atlanta the next night. I stayed at his son's house for a couple nights. And then we stayed in downtown Atlanta. Downtown Atlanta was fun. We we had we went to the Hard Rock. We went. I messed up on my GPS and had us walking towards the Georgia town. But we went bar hopping in downtown Atlanta during the SEC championship weekend, Florida and Alabama. I was wearing a Razorback hat, Arkansas, which has an A. Somebody we passed on the streets thought I was wearing an Alabama hat and had to do a double take because no, I wasn't wearing an Alabama hat. I was wearing an Arkansas hat. But then I almost stumbled over a homeless guy. But then we went to Nashville after Atlanta. And like I've said, Nashville is probably my favorite town I've ever visited, just because it has Broadway. Me and Kenny went and drove past Broadway and we're like, hang on. Okay. Me and Kenny drove through Broadway and saw all these bars on top of bars on top of bars. And we're like, we need to bar hop this spot. As I've said. So we stayed in Nashville one night and we ate at the Hard Rock and went bar hopping. And met this German dude, like next door to us, who his buddies ditched him. Before that, we got Goldschlager from the liquor store a couple blocks from our hotel. And Kenny was telling me he hadn't had that in a while, and it had little pieces of gold in it. So we had that, and then we saw this German dude next door that his buddies had ditched him. And I was telling him that, you know, being of German descent, I want to go to Germany one of these days. He's like, oh, you don't want to go to Germany. Why not? I want to learn about my family's history. But the Atlanta trip was a good time. And we passed by Talladega Motor Speedway going to Atlanta. So that was cool. Number 2. The Gulf Coast trip. We left out at like 1 o'clock in the morning. Me, Dad, my stepmom, my 2 brothers, and my sister in this rental van. And got to Dauphin Island about 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon. Dauphin Island's about 12 hours away. We spent a week there. First time I'd ever been to the coast. First time I ever went into the ocean, I got a full mouthful of frickin' salt water. I'm like, this is not like the water in Grand Lake. So, whenever you jump into the ocean, do not open your mouth. But yeah, we spent a week there. It was at the resort that we were staying at. It was fun. we went and ate at a Italian restaurant. I think that was across the street from the resort that we were staying at. We went to a ferry that took us across the bay to wherever. Went to Pensacola. That was pretty cool. I wish I would have got Floribama on. I wish I would have visited Floribama. That would have been cool for me. I got lost in the parking garage at the resort we were staying at, going to a dive bar that I was going to. But that's why that's number 2. Number 1, the Colorado Vegas trip that me and my brother went on. I've talked about this numerous times. Me and my brother, we were going to move out to California. We were going to move out to LA. We ran out of money. We met up with my uncle in Trinidad, Colorado at the Super 8. And then we traveled to Durango, which is one of my favorite towns I've ever been to. And then we went to, we stopped in Cortez, Colorado, went to, Mesa Verde. And then went to Flagstaff, also one of my favorite towns that I want to go bar hop one of these days. And then we split off from my uncle and went to Vegas. We went to the Grand Canyon with my uncle. Walked down to the bottom, came back up to the top. We brought 2 gallons of water with us each. Drank a half gallon down and a gallon and a half coming back up. And then after Flagstaff, we split off from my uncle, went to Vegas. Me and my brother had such a great time in Vegas. Stayed at the Super 8. It took us 5 times driving around the Vegas airport to find the Super 8. Spent 2 good nights in Vegas. My brother got bumped into by a chick that thought getting a beer spilled on her was the worst thing that could possibly happen, because Vegas is one of the only places you can legally carry beer walking down the street, and that was the first time we experienced that. So we both carried our beers down the street, and then after we left Vegas, I locked my keys in my truck, like I've said before, in Albuquerque. That was not a good ending to the trip, but that was the most fun trip I have ever had, was with my brother, going from Colorado to Vegas and then back. And I won't let my brother drive ever again, because he was wanting to just look at the scenery. I'm like, Tyler, you're driving. Look at the road. Stop looking at the scenery. He's like, why you quit freaking out? You're freaking me out. I'm like, I don't want you to crash my truck. But that is my top 5 plus an honorable mention. If you're new here, please feel free to hit that subscribe button after the video to stay notified on all my current and future whereabouts. And if you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. Lets me know you care. This is Road Trip Nate saying, Bye from the Casa.